Hello there and welcome to a brand new day in the studio. Yep, things are looking a little bit different yet again. So I'm sorry about that, and today we're going to be starting a still life painting. So here's an image of the still life that we will be painting, and today is going to be an underpainting of this still life object. So we will return to the paint along, don't worry. It's just that today the paint along isn't really dry, and I didn't want to risk working on the painting while it's still halfway dry. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be applying a little bit of my Oderless mineral spirits that I have just beneath the camera shot. So my Oderless mineral spirits and the burnt umber, so just to get a nice little wash of value. And I'm working on an 11 by 14 inch canvas panel. And the only colors that I'm going to be using for today's video is just titanium white and burnt umber. And the brands, in case you're curious, the brands are Winsor and Newton for both of them. Okay, so some things I should talk about. One is that the new camera angles that I was so excited about in yesterday's video and the day before that turned out not to work out so well. So I actually ended up losing a 28-minute shot of the paint along. I don't know what happened, but my main camera decided to create a DAT file, D-A-T, and I tried to look up some converters to like fix that problem, but it wasn't working with any of the converters. So now we have a different setup. We're back to one camera, and I think it'll work out for the best because now we're going to be able to see the entire process without, I don't know, too many distractions. Another thing that's going on is my eyes are actually kind of starting to hurt. I think from I had the light when I had the multiple camera angles. I had the light like really close to my eyes. And I think I may have been squinting at the photo reference a little bit too much. Or maybe I've just been working from TV screens for my photo references for too long. So my eyes are actually kind of hurting. So I'm working from life. The still life object is to the side here. So I'm gonna take a rest from observing the photo references from the TV screen. I know you're gonna say, well, why don't you print out the photo references? Well, the photo reference already distorts what you're looking at when you're working from life. And when you print out the picture, it's going to add yet another level of distortion. And that's not really something that I want. I don't really want to distort it any more than it already is. So one thing I'm noticing with my camera in this angle is that I'm receiving a lot of glare. So I have to kind of like move my head close to the camera. So I think I'll be okay for now. I'm going to just be creating an underpainting of this still life object. So here's the corner. So what I did first was just tone the entire canvas because it was just a blank canvas, cotton canvas. So toning it with that burnt umber, I kind of created a massive glare because yeah, oil paint tends to reflect the lights in the room, but that's all right. I'll be able to adjust it later. I think it should be okay for now. So yeah, not to worry anyone about my eyesight. Yeah, I'm gonna just give the photo references from the TV screen a rest for a little while. I am in the middle of creating a video about what I learned from my teachers, or should I say, I think it's gonna be two videos. From what I learned from my teachers in the past. So this technique in particular is something I learned from my teacher, one of my first teachers, Paulden Hamilton. And again, I'm going to be making a video about what I learned from him, so I won't talk too much about it right now. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm just creating a simple shape for where the little tea kettle is going to fit. And just the top of the tea kettle will be indicated with just this. The bottom, pretty much just that, and then the corner. So I'm going to want to get a piece of paper towel. I'm going to just look for a little piece of paper towel beneath me. Here we go. So I'm actually going to subtract with the paper towel to get the lights. So again, I'm just using Oderless mineral spirits, and for my medium, which I haven't used yet, I'm using Neo Megilp. So let's move this all the way down. See how quickly we're going to get the shape for the tea kettle. Still life is a very, very relaxing thing. There's not as much pressure to obtain a likeness with still life as there is with portrait. So, you know, I'm not entirely worried about the likeness of the tea kettle. Instead, I'm just focused on the placement of the tea kettle for now, and basically just the negative shapes. So this is what I mean. All across the side. So yeah, I mean, not to talk too much about the problems that happened with the multiple camera angles. Another thing, some folks noticed that my audio, there were some problems with my audio, and I didn't notice it because when I edited, I didn't really hear too many problems, but when I was reviewing it, I didn't actually go through every single minute at the end of the editing process, because I always just kind of knew that my microphone works just fine. But it turns out when I film for a very long time, a continuous long time, without pressing the off button on my camera, the preamps in my camera, it seems like, I'm not an expert on this, but it seems like the preamps on my camera tend to get worse. So it actually, I took a bunch of shots or a bunch of audio samples, beginning, middle, and end, with that long continuous shot, the 28-minute shot. And what I found is that the audio quality was getting worse. So it looks like my camera cannot handle, my main camera cannot handle recording for long periods of time like that. But that's all right. It just means that I have to keep pressing stop. But that also means, not to talk too much about this, I'm going to have to actually probably write problems with my cameras or something in the title for this video. But another problem with that is going to be I will not be able to use multiple cameras because I don't know how many of you have experience with cameras. I'm sure you do. The problem is you have to sync all of those cameras if you're using, say, 3 cameras. You have to sync them, and it's much easier if it's one continuous shot. It's time consuming, but it's not as time consuming. Now, when I have to press stop with all of the cameras and then have to go and locate where each shot is, like in terms of the kind of the timeline of the video, it becomes an editing nightmare. So yeah, I won't be able to do that. But that's okay. In the future, when I have an actual budget for these videos, I'm going to do my best to have the best camera quality and audio possible. So let's just push this shape down. So again, nothing too terribly complicated today. I'm just looking for the drawing of this little tea kettle and just kind of relaxing. No worries here. No need to worry about the exact likeness of this tea kettle. I mean, symmetry is going to kind of be a thing. So, and by symmetry, let's go ahead and let's put in the center line for this little tea kettle. So if the center line is about there, maybe, just maybe, I want to make sure that it's a straight line. Just kind of leaning a little bit. Let's just get a clean and dry bristle brush. This is a clean and dry bristle brush. So again, just going to try to get the center line. There we go. So it's a very, very simple, very laid back and relaxed process to create the underpainting of the tea kettle. Pretty much one of those times you want to sit back and have a cup of tea. Pun intended. So right now I'm just trying to kind of erase some of this excess paint that's coming down, or at least kind of like blend it into the surface. Not too worried if I lose some of the information on the bottom. It's all right. So again, here is the bottommost portion of the tea kettle. Corner. And again, since this is the underpainting, I do want to get the drawing pretty accurate. So in the next layer, I'll be able to come back in and start to put in all of the nuances and these little values. So I think that the tea kettle is a little bit longer than I have. So the one that I'm describing in the painting is a little bit too, it was a little bit too square. So I think it needs a little bit of a longer shape here. Maybe all the way down there. Who knows? Just exploring the process, exploring the shapes. And you know, I did say that I wanted to do more still life, so this is our chance to do the still life. So let's see here. Let's put a little bit of the cast shadow. So again, the shadow being projected. That just fits right there. Now this portion of the painting is going to be rather quick. So I'm going to go ahead and look for another brush, clean and dry brush. So let's say about this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the titanium white, and just on the bottom here I have my container with my medium here, my Neo Megilp. So a little bit of Neo Megilp onto this palette. And this is just a little piece of glass, just a piece of replacement glass that's kind of tacked onto this cork board, just to hold my all of my stuff here. So let's start off over there and over here. Very simple. Just dragging the brush all down towards here. And you know, I'm so relaxed, I didn't even draw the shape for the shadow. I'm just really not that worried. You know, the tea kettle isn't going to come up and say, hey, that painting doesn't look exactly like me. It's not. It's a very, very relaxing process. And again, still life is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to work from life, which again is something that I really want to do more often. So there's the top of the tea kettle, and I'm just using monochrome. I could very likely finish this painting alla prima if I had, I don't know, some more colors. But you know, I'm not going to put that strain on myself. Using the Neo Megilp medium, I know that this layer will be dry by tomorrow. And tomorrow I can set aside the task of looking for the exact color combinations and the exact mixtures needed to make this still life object look realistic. But I don't need that right now. Right now, all I want is the simple shape. A little bit of light there. And I did say this portion was going to be pretty quick, so let's go ahead, leave a little bit of a dark right there so that it can show this would be the cast shadow of this. Just by leaving a little bit of the paint. No big deal. Going all the way down here. And then this little shape here kind of reminds me of a goose. The neck of a goose. All throughout here. A little bit more pressure makes it brighter. A little bit less pressure makes it darker. And that's it. Super simple, super laid back, super relaxing. A little bit of light here and there. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of light right over here. So I tend to describe alla prima painting as kind of the fast and furious way of creating a painting. And this certainly isn't it. This is the more laid back and relaxed. This is the laid back, relaxed cup of tea way of creating a painting. So let's see, let's put a little bit of that light shape there. Super simple. And again, the symmetry is going to kind of be a thing, so let's go ahead and push this down. Now with the same brush, there's going to be a little bit of a shadow here that I'm not quite describing. And I'm going to keep it rather simple. Just a simple little shape there. And over here, just a simple little shape. There we go. And if it's not in the exact spot it needs to be, not a big deal. Tea kettles are really chill objects to paint. They're not going to get up and say, hey, my nose isn't just right, or hey, my mouth isn't in the right place. Wherever you want to put that brush stroke, that's where it goes. So right over here, just a large, brave brush stroke for the corner. And then let's just turn the brush, put a little more pressure down here, and then get our little darker brush, put that shadow there, no problem. See how quick that is? Very relaxing process. And you know what? It gets a little lighter here, so let's just put a little more titanium white. And it gets a little lighter here, so let's just put that light in there. No biggie. Now let's go ahead and let's just make this darker. I did leave a little bit of the tone underneath, but I think I'll cover it. And over here, why not? Why not? Let's just very lightly sketch in this darker shape. Very simple and easy. And you can do this. This is very much a type of painting I think anyone can do. This is a very, very good beginner painting. And it doesn't matter, beginner or advanced or whatever level you may be in. Just, once in a while, just sit back, relax, and create a very relaxing still life. Super simple. See, that's going to be a little bit of the cast shadow. And you know what? There's a little bit more nuance to this shadow, so let's go ahead and put that nuance. And right around here, the shape of the edge of the arm of this little tea kettle could be pushed out a little bit, but it's going to be okay. Let's just cover this, make it a little bit darker. Super simple. Super, super simple. A little bit more dark over here. So I think maybe about one of the last things we'll do for the underpainting is to let's get a larger brush, and let's see, was this the brush I toned? I think this is it. I think this is the brush I used to tone all of that. So let's just go ahead and get a very nice amount of burnt umber. And you know what? Let's get the Neo Megilp medium. That's right there. Add a little bit of Neo Megilp. And start to cover. And we want a fairly dark background. But you know what? There's a little bit of a fold right here. A little bit of the fold from the fabric. So let's just put that in there for now. It would be a very interesting compositional thing. So this is brand new cork board where my painting and the palette is suspended with these little colorful tacks. And there's going to definitely be paint on this, and it's going to get more and more paint on it the more paintings I create. So I think that's all right. I think it's just going to give the cork board a little bit more character. What do you think? So let's just go ahead and cover this shape really quickly. Super simple, relaxed, laid back, chill, still life. A little bit of more of a dark shape here. Then I have a dark shape over here. And I may end up just blending the entire background together, but you know, might as well put in some of those little compositional elements if they're present. Or make them up if we want to. Whatever we want to do. And again, it doesn't matter if we don't get the exact shape of the tea kettle. It's okay. And I did say that this was one of the last things that I would do, but I think maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna want to let's put a little bit more Neo Megilp onto this. And I think that I'm just going to blast this, and I'm going to put a whole bunch of the white. And I'm going to try to look for, again, another exacting shape right there. And you know what? I'm going to just blast this because I know that it'll be dry tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I know that it should be dry tomorrow. And tell you what, in tomorrow's video, let's see if we can glaze some of the lights into this. And I did say tomorrow, but who knows when I'll be able to upload that video. Another thing that I noticed was when I was uploading all of those clips and editing them on my computer was acting a little funny. And I think it's just because I had 3 SD cards uploading data onto my computer. Well, not really onto my computer. I was uploading it onto an SD card. Sorry. I was uploading it onto an external drive. To those of you that know about computer stuff. And yeah, even though I was putting it onto an external drive, it still was giving me problems with my computer. So fingers crossed that my computer is still functional enough to edit this video. So you will be receiving this video. Hopefully, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. So tomorrow, hopefully on Thursday, which is today for you, if you're watching this, you'll be receiving this video. Fingers crossed. So right around here, it's going to get a little bit darker. And if the shape's not exactly right, it's not the end of the world. We can always come back in the second layer. While we're glazing everything, we will also be able to make the shapes more specific. But again, I'm not going to worry about too much of the specifics with this. Just a laid back and relaxed still life. That's what I want. And you know, I think that's going to be about it for the underpainting of this tea kettle. This was a very fast and efficient way of creating a still life underpainting. Or you know, you can even consider this as a finished painting, a still life in monochrome if you like. That being said, I really hope that these videos are helping you out. I'm sorry about all the technical talk with my with the computer problems that I had and all the camera angle stuff and yada 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 yada, all that stuff. Sorry about all that stuff. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll be back again very soon.